Okay, welcome back. Just adding another story we just got. Big loss for America. Tommy Tuberville, the shill, pro-immigration, illegal immigration, defeated Jeff Sessions in Alabama's GOP Senate primary. We, Alipac.us, William Geen, this program, and many others tried to boost Sessions. But Trump is responsible for his loss. This is a big loss. This country is being turned inside out. It's very sad to see, but it is happening. And there have been people who knew in advance. Brother Nathanael is back with us this hour. I mentioned last hour that I have, from a very high level source, and I'm not, you know me, I'm not a boasting kind of a person. I got this through a second party, that in point of fact, the Lubovichers, Jerry and the Princess, are running Donald Trump for the most part. They have extraordinary power and control over him. They have lined their pockets with tremendous deals, exclusive deals in China and elsewhere. It's big time politics. It's the Clinton machine. It's the same. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's in there. Greed is the primary driver, and you can never have too much greed, can you? Brother Nathanael, welcome back. Now, you had some real experience with the Lubavitch cult, which is what it is. It's a Jewish cult, and it is. You talk about hate. Well, tell us welcome back, and first of all, glad to have you back. Glad you're safe. I know you're out of town for a while. It's crazy out there. Good to have you back.
Oh, it's a great honor. Free speech lives at Rense.com. And many times people will say to me, wow, I didn't know that. I say, I saw it on Rense. That's a good meme, isn't it? And it's a true meme. So thank you for keeping free speech alive, Jeff.
Well,
I know many appreciate that.
Thank you. We're doing our very best, and I look at this again. All of a sudden, we're going to have temperatures over 120 degrees in Arizona, and probably God only knows where else in the Southwest. A heat dome is parked, what do you know, over most of the U.S., and it's, talk about keeping people indoors, right? How do you do it? You make it 110 degrees outside. It's real simple. I don't think anything happens coincidentally or accidentally anymore. I just don't.
Yeah, social engineering, climate engineering, political engineering, cultural engineering. And the same people who crucified Christ are doing it. They got almost total control. We still have a chance, and that's why I remain optimistic. It's now or never. But getting to your question about I call them the Lubies, the Lubavitchers. You see, when I came to believe in Jesus Christ when I was 21, out of Judaism, out of a very strong Jewish home of two Jewish parents, my mother had a fit. She had an absolute fit. She never used to speak Yiddish, though she knew it, and all of a sudden now she's speaking Yiddish. So she sets me up with the Lubavitchers to deprogram me and to bring me back into the fold, but this time into a cult, the Lubavitch Chabad House cult. This was in Pittsburgh. They had a real big Lubavitcher Center in Pittsburgh. It was a main branch of the Chabad House. Okay, so I spent time with them, with the rabbis, with the scholars, so-called scholars, and they have what they call Shabbatons. And they would have these weekend type of retreats, or you would stay over a rabbi's house, beginning at Friday evening, all through Shabbos, and then you would leave either Saturday night or Sunday morning. But at these Shabbatons, I'll never forget, there's pictures of Menachem Mearson all over, Oh, they're against idolatry and depictions, but not when it comes to their Moshiach. So I'm looking at them, and I said, why are all these pictures? They said, because we want the Messiah now. Well, I already knew the Bible pretty good. I said, well, where was he born? They said, in Russia. I said, well, the Messiah has to be born in Bethlehem. He can't be the Messiah. So one of the rabbis got up, and he looked like he could have killed me. He was a big stalker type. He says, we're here to teach you. You're not here to teach us. And I thought the guy could knock me down and almost kill me. But these are very violent people, Jeff.
Well, you sent me. Maybe you should if you can resend, not right now, but the comments by Schneerson of hate of whites, hate of anybody who is not a Lubavitcher. Basically, I would assume that would include some Jews. This man was really a hateful person. And you think of Jerry...
I got a clip of him telling Ariel Sharon, he says, you want all Arabs out of here. You want them all out. And he was on microphone. He didn't even know it. I have a clip of it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Now it came about, I think, 10, 12 years ago. I can't remember. He dies. All right? Now the Mashiach is dead. Well, what's going to happen now? How can he be the Mashiach? Well, he's going to rise from the dead, like the real Messiah, Jesus Christ. Right. So I did 2 videos on it. All the Lubavitchers, the Lubies, are praying around his grave for 10 days. And he just kept on rotting. He never got up. So they gave up. They took down all the billboards in Israel, Mashiach now. I have 2 videos on it. And next week, I'll send them to you. And we can play them.
Good. Yeah, let's do that. What are your thoughts on David E. Goldberg's final words, that video?
Okay, well, you sent that to me a few days ago, and I looked through it. I had been familiar with it. And
Project Pogo and Project Zypher.
Yeah. Okay, he either had some inside information or he was a good guesser. And
I don't think anybody guesses like that. But yeah, I hear you. Sure.
Yeah, okay. So, he's saying some things. I don't know how he died. I don't know who killed him. But I thought to myself, he said, the secrets, they're around my house, the FBI. They look, I don't know if they were FBI or what, and they're outside, and they keep on driving by. Right. And he went out to see who they were. And then what was it, 2 weeks later, he's dead.
I don't know how long. He died in June.
You and I listening to. Go ahead.
He died of June last year, And I think he probably recorded this maybe a month before, something like that.
That is, yeah.
That's the story. And
then he did have some inside information, and maybe he could have blown the roof off if he kept on talking. Yeah.
Correct.
So they were threatening him by the vehicles outside, driving by constantly. Right. Intimidation tactics. They give him a warning. You better shut up, man, and don't give all the info you have. So I think it's worth you and I listening to and both commenting on.
All right,
if you wanted to do that.
Let's go ahead and do that. I can start it in a little ways. Let me start it in a little ways, near to where it was last night. It was a good place to start. All right. Here's David Goldberg audio put in his safe and removed after his death, I am told, by poisoning, and released.
Mm-hmm. Put out truthful information so that they can tag, track, and ID the people that are watching the videos.
Let me back this up just a little. TTID, tag, track, and identify who your enemies are, i.e. American patriots.
They do know who you are. So this is discussed a lot in the documents. I'm just looking through it right now. And there are two projects, and it's very important to listen to this. Project Pogo is one of them, and Project Zypher. I will spell that one. Z-Y-P-H-R. Project Pogo and Project Zypher are the two projects that the classified documents are referring to, and each has a different role. Project Pogo is about the YouTube gatekeepers, how they are all agents. They are all paid to put out truthful information so that they can tag, track, and ID the people that are watching the videos.
Remember how many times we've talked about this? Created opposition. Created opposition. People appearing to be American patriots who are actually created and funded by the enemies of the Republic. Created opposition. Many of the bigger lights in the alternative news community are fakes. It doesn't mean all their information is fake.
Right.
They're frauds.
Yeah.
And giving them likes and giving them comments. They're tracking all of it. Project Zypher is a different project, and that's what I'll talk about in a bit. That is the second stage here. That is coming up. And that is the extermination. They're going to exterminate these people, whether it is tag them for anti-Semitic speech, charge them with crimes, eliminate them completely, and this is where I'll talk about in the documents where they talk about guillotines, viral attacks, targeted, how they're...
Viral attacks, targeted attacks, TIs, targeted individuals. He said this, I'm guessing, last April or May, 6 months, 7 months before the Wuhan virus was released, accidentally or intentionally. But I think we all agree that it was no accident.
To eliminate these people without too much suspicion, without...
When he says these people, pardon the interruption, he's talking about me, Brother Nathanael. Anyone who is trying to reveal reality.
Too many people noticing. But here's the problem. As I read the documents, I can see I have documents from 4 years ago, I have documents from 2 years ago, and then I have documents from 3 months ago. So there's a progression in the timeline as the projects change. And Project Zypher has changed. In the beginning, they were talking a lot about, okay, we are going to infect these people with a virus that imitates the flu virus. They're going to eliminate them in various ways that would not be suspicious. In the documents I have now from 3 months ago, they are saying the amount of people they have to eliminate is too large. It is too many. We are talking about millions of them.
Americans are waking up. That's what they're worried about.
Americans. And this is where we see their plans are changing. And they are going to initiate something that is devastating and that is extremely frightening. And based on what I can see in the documents, we're talking about power outages along with a purge. They're going to come in, they're going to take you out of your home, and they're going to put you into a military vehicle or whatever, a van, and drive you away and place you into a camp. It is a very, very big operation that they're planning. It is millions of Americans. They will do it under the cover of night, under the cover of blackness, during one of these planned blackouts. The blackouts are based on documents. I'm just looking at it right now.
What did the DHS warn Americans about last November in a story that came and went in the blink of an eye? They warned Americans to prepare, to put enough food away, etc. to survive up to 6 months without electricity. That doesn't necessarily mean a coast-to-coast loss of electricity. Rolling blackouts, rolling brownouts, whatever. It wouldn't take much to upset the apple cart here. Not at all.
They have a 3-day blackout. They have a nationwide blackout that lasts 2 days, and a lot of localized blackouts. So it is a whole series of blackouts that they're going to do. And of course it will be blamed on all kinds of things. They might blame it on Iran. I have seen that mentioned in the documents. They've already prepped people for this. There are going to be more blackouts. They're already predictive programming. So we may see more of this as we go on. As far as I can tell from Project Zephyr, they are planning this next year and the year after. They are not done tagging, tracking, and identifying everyone. It looks like they're at about 78%. I looked in the documents, and there were a couple of indications of how far along they feel the project is. They're like 78% done, but they're not completely done. It does take time to identify a YouTube account and then track it to the email that it was created with, and then IP address, and then find out who created it. It does take them a lot of time to do that. It is not instant. It does take a lot of research, because a lot of people create a YouTube account with an email address that doesn't give any indication of who they are, an account name that doesn't have their full name on it. They don't use their real pictures. So it is a challenge for them, and that's why the project has been going on for so long. But it is coming to a close. In the next 6 months to a year, it appears it is coming to a close, and that is when Project Zephyr will be initiated. So I have some notes here. I'm going to continue on, talk a little bit more about. Right, they're being tracked, they're being identified. That's the whole point. A lot of people have said, well, why are some of these YouTube channels allowed to exist? Why are they allowed to so openly talk about the truth? And some of you might know Adam Green, No More News, and there are a whole bunch of others, and they're very, very open about Zionism, and they're very honest about it, and they're telling the truth. I mean, they are telling the truth. They're not hiding anything. They're not disinfo. They're not putting disinfo out there. But as far as I know, they're all a part of this operation. I can't say specifically if Adam Green is a part of it or not, but I would assume possibly he is. He has probably been guaranteed a lot of money. He's probably been promised a lot of things. He could be a Freemason. He could be a part of their operation. He could be an agent. I don't know. I have no idea. It is total speculation on my part. I have no idea. All I know is this is part of the operation, what they want to do. His channel would fit into the MO. It is an example I'm giving. He is there to tag, track, and ID. Not him specifically, but the people behind the operation who are doing all the research and all the people who are commenting and viewing and liking. They want to know who they are. They want to know where they live, and they are going to eliminate them at a date in the future. Completely eliminate them. This is going way beyond the idea of passing laws to ban speech, which they're already doing. They've done it in America already, but not very aggressively, and we will see more legislation of that nature. But they want to completely eliminate these people because they do stand in the way of the agenda. There are too many people that are waking up. It is way too many for them to handle. They're starting to have an influence, and they're starting to change the conversation online. It is of great concern to Israel. Something that the memos that I received, we'll talk a little bit about the memos. The memos are different from the classified documents. The memos are White House internal memos that discuss a wide range of things in terms of Trump's meeting with rabbis, discussions with Netanyahu over the phone. And one of the memos says that Donald Trump will have to declare himself king of Israel publicly. This is part of the process for them. There's no strategic reason for it. It is symbolic for them. Trump is going to declare himself king of Israel at some point. I don't know how, but they're talking about it in these memos over and over again. when he's going to do it, why they want him to do it, which again is symbolic. It has no strategic purpose, apparently. It is part of the process of the end game, basically, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Now, if you all remember, I have the story, and when we come back from the break, I'll quote from it, where Trump did exactly that in August. Goldberg died. He was poisoned in June. In August, Donald Trump declared himself King of Israel. Be right back. Okay, and right back with Brother Nathanael and all of you really good people all around the world. Let me go right to this.
All right.
Well,
Jeff, real quick, just thinking about Goldberg. He's missing one thing, and he can't say because he's a Jew.
Yeah.
Or was a Jew. He's dead now. And that is the immense, monolithic power of Jewry. It's immense. It's multi-layered. And when Trump came along and the deplorables, it scared the hell out of them. Trump he'll jump through hoops for Netanyahu. He'll jump through hoops for Jared's family, the Kushner family, and especially his main contributor, Sheldon Adelson. He'll jump through hoops. He'll do whatever they want. But they still want Hillary in, or Biden, or Kamala, or whoever, because they're scared to death of these deplorables. And these are white Christian Americans who have guns. They've got lots of guns. And push comes to shove, they'll use them. And that's who the Jews are scared of. And that's why the media hates Trump and wants to get him out. Because the media is super Jewish run.
Very important point. Every story I see, here's one, the story I'm going to quote from, written by Bess Levine, or Levin, however you want to pronounce it. New York Times editor quit today. Obviously a bright young woman, Jewish woman, another one. She said the newsroom is like, what she call it, a left... Anyway, she was being attacked by the left liberals in the newsroom. It's being run by leftists. They're calling her a Nazi because she's a centrist in her views. She's an op-ed editor, and she quit. Yeah. But they do control the media. Everybody knows it. You've been telling people that forever. I've been telling people that forever. I think the word is out. People are waking up. They understand that 0.03% of the world population is running the world. That's just a simple fact. There's no hate there. None of that. Here it is.
Yeah.
Vanity Fair, August 21st, 2 months after David E. Goldberg was murdered, poisoned. The headline, Trump declares himself King of Israel. Right there. I'll read a little, just a little. It's been an eventful 18 hours in the fevered mind of Donald Trump. Yesterday, the president unleashed an anti-Semitic rant in the Oval Office in which he declared that Jews who vote for Democrats are either uneducated or disloyal Americans. Unfortunately, with about 70% of American Jews being registered as Democrats, that's a lot of disloyalty. So Trump looked elsewhere for answers, and lo, he found an unhinged supporter who says Israelis, the real Jews, love Trump like the King of Israel and the second coming of God. So here's Trump on Twitter. Thank you to Wayne Allen Root for the very nice words. President Trump, he's quoting now in his tweet from Root, quote, President Trump is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. He is the best president for Israel in the history of the world. And the Jewish people in Israel love him like he is the king of Israel. They love him like he is the second coming of God. But American Jews don't know him or like him. They don't even know what they're doing or saying anymore. It makes no sense, but that's okay if he keeps doing what he's doing. So there it is. Headline, Trump declares himself King of Israel in that tweet by simply retweeting the words. There it is. It's a done deal. Okay?
All right, I got a couple more billion out of the Kushner family and with the other one. Adelson, the Shell and Adelson primary. That's what it does for Trump. But ultimately, the Jews, I think most Jews are Democrats. I grew up in a Democratic, party family, a Democratic Party synagogue. They're Democrats. And they don't like whites because it's the white Christian power bloc, political bloc, that can withstand Jewry once they fully wake up. And that's what the deplorables are. So they'd rather have Hillary in or Biden or Kamala, or the rest of the vermin.
Right. All right, let's go back and listen to a little bit more of David Goldberg's final words of warning.
Again, one last thing I was thinking about. Jewry doesn't really have to do these targeted individual attacks. All they have to do is wipe out the middle class. Like with lockdowns.
Like with 33 million having applied for unemployment insurance?
Use control. What's that?
Like with 33 million Americans having applied for unemployment insurance, 45 million Americans having lost their jobs? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry I had to interrupt you, but Jewry controls every local hack, every governor, whether it's Newsom, whether it's Whitmer, whether it's Abbott in Texas. It's Jewish money behind them. So that's why I came up with my recent video. I'm working on a new one now, Secession Now. And I do think it's probable. Yes, it's possible, but I do think it's probable.
I think it's necessary. All right, let's go back. They're going to balkanize the country. That's what they want. Fine. Let's do it. Let's secede. Let's pull states out. Let's have those states be open havens and refuges for American patriots. All right, let's go back to the Goldberg video.
There's no strategic reason for it. It is symbolic for them. Trump is going to declare himself King of Israel at some point. I don't know how, but they're talking about it in these memos over and over again. When he's going to do it, why they...
And I just read it to you. It's done.
To do it, which again is symbolic. It has no strategic purpose, apparently. It is part of the process of the end game, basically, is what I'm saying. So we'll see if that happens or not. It sounds ridiculous. I can't imagine him actually saying it. But maybe he will do something like that. We will look out for that in the coming months.
2 months later, he did it.
Based on my reading of the classified documents,
there wasn't any private information Goldberg had. The Israelis were already proclaiming him the king.
Right. Okay. Very good.
So much of what is going on is planned. They've given people the impression that Trump has brought chaos to politics, but it's actually opposite. It has been planned. Donald Trump's allegiance is to Israel. He's not only a Jew, he is a Freemason. They have promised him his daughter, the sons, will enjoy a very high-level ranking within the world government that they are forming, the capital which will be Jerusalem. So that is why Trump is so dedicated to following the script, while performing the way that he does. It appears to be very authentic to his followers. Everything he's done, talking about the wall to the fake news, was scripted from the beginning in around 2014 and 2015. And according to some of the memos I'm reading, he loved it. They introduced all of this to him and he loved it. They told him the plan. You're going to become president. You're going to say this and this and this. He loved it. He's already a little bit of a racist. He's already predisposed to some of this rhetoric. So he loved it. He jumped on board. And they promised him great things, especially for his family, if he were to follow through on these things and simply follow their script. And he does have leeway. He has leeway to say many things that he wants to say. He has a lot of fun doing this. But he does have script writers, and there's one of the script writers, I forget his name. He's bald guy. I want to remember his name. It's important to say it. Well, he is a big part of this. He writes a lot of the Trump's tweets.
Miller.
He crafts a lot of it.
Yeah, Miller's young.
I cannot remember.
Or maybe he is.
It's coming up right now.
I think it's Miller.
Well, Trump's
yeah, maybe it's both. I don't get a picture.
Writer. Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller has a big role in all of this. He is a dedicated Zionist. He has a lot to do with a lot of this. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, if you want to find out who's really behind it, Stephen Miller is a big part of it. So that is the whole of it. I want to get this video out. I want people to hear it. I want people to know what's going on. I've had some strange things going on in my house. I've noticed black SUVs. I mentioned it before. They're still there. I still see them every once in a while. The other day, I went out to try to approach one, to confront them. Like, what are you doing here? I know you're here. And they drove off. It's like, right when I opened the door, and I look outside, I see them drive off. So I don't know. Maybe it's just coincidence that they were leaving and they saw, I don't know. But it seemed like they were very, very prepared to get out of there. So the next time I see them, I'm going to confront them quickly and make sure that they don't have time to get out of there before I have a chance to get down there, and at least they see me coming for them. I will try again.
Okay, that's all we're going to play. We have a video from Brother Nathanael I want to make sure we hear. I am really impressed with David Goldberg's speech, his cadence, his use of words. They are absolutely correct, in my view. I'm putting him up against everything I know, everything I've learned in 35 years. It's all there. Nothing has been exaggerated. He's just telling reality as it is. Okay, a comment from you, then we're going to get to your video. And by the way, David Goldberg's video is up in headlines. It's just do a search for Goldberg. If you can't scroll down, it's down there. And I'll put it back up again. I'm going to put it up permanently over on the right side under featured stories. It's that important. I think it's already up there, in fact. I think I'm ahead of myself. Go ahead, Brother Nathanael.
I just go back to my same point, and no one will say it except for me, and that's the power of the Jew. And the power of the Jew is money, finance. They can make a book entry and create $1 trillion at the snap of a finger. That's tremendous power. Okay, they have all the hedge funds, they have all the PACs, they have multiple PACs, and if they don't like a particular candidate, the press and the money get behind the candidate they want. The only one that can control is Ron Paul, and Ron Paul resigned. He shouldn't have. He should not have resigned. And now they got Rand Paul, and he started this thing for Israel and all that stuff because he figured, well, that's the only way I can become president. And it was a dud. So it's the power of the Jew. And I've been saying all along, we have to do what the Byzantine Empire has done, get them the hell out of here. But no, it's not even that. We have to strip them of their power of the purse. That's the only way. I'm reading a book by Hilaire Belloc, King Louis, Emperor Louis XIV of France. And they tried to disempower the Huguenots, who had tremendous power. And Belloc says they made one mistake. They did not confiscate their money. And I thought, We need
All right.
a ruthless leader like Peter
Well,
the
you'd
Great,
see,
for all his
the
faults.
nation, Brother Nathanael, America died Christmas Eve, 1913. That was the end. The Federal Reserve Act passed
Right.
by a corrupt Congress. That was the end. That was the official, formal handing of this country over to international Zionist money. That was the end.
Yeah.
Federal Reserve Act, 1913, Christmas Eve. Look it up if you don't know. All right. Here's Brother Nathaniel's Secession Now video. Let's get right into it.
Okay, good.
Everyone knows what blue states want. Gun confiscation, cancel culture, closed churches, speech codes, open borders, LGBTQ perversion, minority priority, Marxism slavery, mandatory vaccines, climate religion, aborted babies, aborted history, and white death. But what do red states want? A life as the founding fathers chartered. Or are they barely hanging on to what's left until there's nothing left? And even surrendering to the Marxists its vital parts? Yeah, two things make a United States possible: freedom of speech and the right to bear arms. Both are being attacked by Central Command in D.C. and its Jewish sedition through and through. Jews keep screeching on Capitol Hill, whether it's the ADL, Zionist lobbies, and their kosher circle of Jewish hacks and partisans to expand speech codes beyond the college campuses into the public square until the First Amendment gasps its last breath in silent despair. Jews keep screeching on Capitol Hill, whether it's Chucky Schumer, Brian Schitz, Dianne Feinstein, Benjamin Cardin, or Richard Blumenthal to expand bans on assault weapons until the Second Amendment allows only squirt guns and plastic tomahawks to defend our homes. Severing the glue of community, the family, comprised of husband and wife whose respective genders are male and female, continues to be eviscerated by Central Command. Why have we allowed 4 Jews, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Stephen Breyer, Elena Kagan, a reported lesbian, Sonia Sotomayor, her mother was Jewish, and a lapsed Catholic, Anthony Kennedy, to undefined marriage to mean the union between men with men and women with women? That's homosexuality and lesbianism, plain and sinful, of which every society since the beginning of time condemned as sexual perversion. In the end, we who stand for tradition, morality, and historical succession must ask ourselves, what do we have in common with federalized Jews who keep ramming their immoral values and unconstitutional rulings down our throats? It's time for secession, and we begin with the 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. And if our governors and mayors want to keep giving away those powers to the feds and giving arbitrary powers to themselves, then it's time for the people to secede. State by state, region by region, county by county, community by community, all must find a way to live free or die. Secession now, or America will be turned into a Marxist Jewish hellhole. Okay, water break. Quenching the thirst for freedom. And relieving the overreach of federal government tyranny. You know, the Supreme Court, the Constitution never gave it the power to define things that people do. People define the things they do, not a clique of Jewish lawyers in black robes. Now, if some people in states or regions want lesbians and homosexuals to pretend they're married, then that's their problem. But if people in other states or regions find same-sex marriage repulsive, then they have the power to nullify unconstitutional rulings in their local courts. The states are the sovereigns, not the federal government, and can nullify unlawful overreach. That's American System 101, and that's what keeps the peace, keeping government overreach in check. Counties and regions can also break from their own state governments if unlawful rulings are enacted. Now, you want to be blue, just move to a region that's blue. You want to be red, then move to a region that's red. You see, our minds, our thoughts, our worldviews are being confiscated by the speech police out of Washington, D.C., and by governors and mayors' offices as well, those little puppet tyrants. Strip freedom of speech, strip the right to bear arms, strip the monuments of the men who laid the guidelines, then we cannot combat the left's wicked designs. Secede now, or the Jews will desecrate every sacred shrine.
Pretty powerful words.
They're already calling for
right there, along with
monument to St. Louis to be taken down, Jeff, because he was an anti-Semite. The Jews are calling for it. I saw it on their Jewish Telegraphic Agency newspaper.
How many statues
they want
are
to
there?
Change the name of the city. The Jews don't like it.
St. Louis.
You see, everyone's afraid of the Jew word, but the Jews aren't. Jews don't want this. Jews demand that. Jews call out the anti-Semite. It's all Jews. Now, I say the word Jew, and I say, too bad. I'm going to use it just as much as they do. Jews are doing this. Jews are doing that. Jews are destroying this. Yeah. So...
Did you
now
say
St. Louis
I had a
grabs, yep.
I had a little audio drop. Did you say St. Louis?
Yeah.
They're trying to change the name of St. Louis. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Okay. That I missed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he was an anti-Semite and he had the Talmud burned. Well,
all right.
why? Because the Talmud blasphemes the Lord Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary. That's why St. Louis did that. But will the Jews tell you that? No. Oh, yeah, they're at the head of this, you know?
Yeah. Of course they are.
Confederate statues, St. Louis. He's going to come down according to the Jews.
Yeah, if it's a statue, it has to come down. All right. Now, I think in this hour, we have heard some of the most important information that I have ever been privileged to put on the radio. And I'm not talking just about David E. Goldberg, but both of our guests tonight, and I consider David Goldberg to be one of the guests. We heard the truth. We heard reality. We heard it.
We heard it on Rense Radio. Thank God for Rense Radio.
Well, thank you. It's a real honor to be able to do this, and the more I see things, the more it becomes clear how long ago this was planned. You heard Goldberg talk about it. They went to Trump 2004, 2005. He was obviously over-leveraged. Everybody seems to know that. They bailed him out. He's set. He's set for life. Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping and praying he gets back in again, because if the Democrats get back in, it's going to be...
It's simple. It's communism or Constitution. That's your choice. If you hate Trump, fine. You can't vote for communism. Doesn't work. Very good. All right. We're out of time. Thank you very much for being here. As always, keep up the great work.
Enjoyed. I got a new video. I thought it'd be ready by tonight. It's called The Devil's Retirement Plan.
Oh. Well, we'll get that next Tuesday. Sounds good. All right.
All right.
Thank you. Take care.
All right.
Be well. Brother Nathanael Kapner, raised in a Orthodox Jewish household and converted to Christianity when he's 21. He understands both sides of the coin equally well. Very interesting. All right. Hang on. Be right back.